What's a proportion there? Caden?
Like an equivalent.
Pardon?
Like an equivalent.
Yeah, it's like an equivalent. A proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equal. So we're basically just comparing ratios, like we compare fractions, okay? Kind of like that whole thing we did over there a little bit ago on that number, what, 10, 15, 12, I don't know, whatever number we did in the homework. We were comparing two ratios to see whether they were equivalent. And that's why when I looked at it my way, no, they're not equivalent because the ratios weren't the same. So that's why, you know, it was kind of the way it was. So, looking at two quantities that form a proportion, we say that they are proportional. So for if I have 2 bananas to every 3 apples, I'm just going to throw something here. These are apples and these are bananas. And I increase my bananas by 2. So now I have 4 bananas. Then I would have to have 6 apples. All I'm doing is working that fraction and writing an equivalent fraction. Okay? If they are proportional, they're going to be equal. Okay? Let's find out. If I have, and here again, make sure you pay attention to the way it's labeled. I want feet to hours. So if I have 5 feet to 4 hours, the question is that equal to 15 feet every 12 hours? That is the question. Is it equal or is it not? And when you figure it out, we're going to play a little bit of game of thumbs up. Okay? And if they're equal, you're going to give me thumbs up. And if they're not equal, you're going to give me thumbs down. Okay? So number 1, is 5/4 equal to 5/12? Showdown. 15/12, thank you. Are they equal? Yes. Now here's my question. How do you know that they're equal? Okay. So if he simplified the second one. That is true. That works. Did anybody else do it differently? Did you do it differently, Savannah?
I multiplied both of them by 5, the 5 and 4.
Savannah said,
3.
well, if I multiply this times 3 and this times 3, I get 15/12. Okay. Anybody do it even more different than that? Mr. Matthew.
Well, no, I'm just gonna say like it's like simple, like it's just simple multiplication. Just think, what's
Whatever you have to
5 times what
Yeah.
equals 15?
You're either going to
And then just
simplify
go
it
to the bottom number.
or you're going to do some multiplying. There's another way too that you can find that out. There's another way you can do it. Aaron, do you know the other way I'm thinking of? Try it. Ah, Aaron says I turned them both into a decimal. Is that what I'm hearing? No?
You put 5/4 together.
Right?
Then you press enter. It gives you 1 1/4. Do
That-
the same thing with 15/12.
Right, that just gave you the decimal. 1 and 1/4. Oh, it showed it as a fraction?
Yeah.
Okay, so she took it and she wrote it as a mixed number. Yeah, I don't know that I would do that, but could I turn it into a decimal?
No.
Yeah, decimals would work. That'd be another way. Mr. Case. Tanner.
This probably wouldn't be good for this problem, but if they both have the same unit rate.
Oh, find the unit rate? Yes, it would work. See, there's lots of different ways. Darty?
Cross multiply.
Haha. The cross multiply thing. If I'm comparing 5/4 compared to 15 twelfths. Well, what's 4 times 15?
4 times 15 is 30.
I think it's 60, isn't it?
Yeah.
And 5 times 12 is also 60. These are equal.
I'm gonna do it that way.
That's another way you can do it. Okay? So we can multiply to compare, we can simplify to compare, we can turn it into it. There's tons of ways. You just have to pick what works for you all the time. Michaela? No. No, why would you do that? What makes you think that maybe we ought to do that? Nah, I don't want you doing that. I don't want you going there at all. Okay, let's look at number 2. Everybody do number 2. Do it your way. I got 8 pages to 40 minutes, and I've got 15 pages to 70 minutes. Thumbs up, they're equal. Thumbs down, they are not. Showdown. They're not equal. They are not equal. The equal sign with the slash through it says, signifies not equal. You are correct. You are correct. Mr. Zane?
I did this one right here. 40 divided by 8 and then I multiply that, what I got from that, by 15 and 7 minutes.
I hope you didn't do 40 divided by 8, because that would be the fraction of 8 divided by 4. So I'm thinking that doesn't work, buddy.
40 divided by 8 is 5.
But I,
15 times 5 is 75, and that's not 72.
but there's no reason to take 40 and divide it by 8. That doesn't make sense. Okay? What about number 3? Oh, by the way, don't show your thumb at all until I ask you to, because I got people going. I got people that are just being logs and giving me thumbs up because that's what they're seeing you do. So stop. Don't do it until I ask you to show down. I have 3 pounds for $3.75, and I have 5 pounds for $6.50. Oops. Are they equal? One, two, three, showdown. They are not equal. Not equal. And I don't know what was on the bottom of that, but I don't care. It's on yours too. 2 cups in 4 servings compared to 5 cups in 10 servings. Are they proportional or not proportional? Those are the 2 words we're talking about here. Are they proportional or not proportional? Showdown. Thumbs up they are, thumbs down they are not. It is. And the reason why I know it, I said 2 times 10 is 20. Do you agree with that? Is 2 times 10 20?
Yep.
I do these all this away. 5 times 4 is 20. Therefore, they are proportional. I can do it much faster this way than I can the other way. When I'm only comparing 2, why not? When you're comparing 3 or 4, you might have to choose one of the other methods because it's a lot harder to do. Trenton,
I used to make 3/4 and 5/10.
you saw simplify them real quick and knew they were 1/2 each. Good, good. Okay, is it proportional? 6/4 and 8/12. Is it proportional? Proportional or not? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Ready? 1, 2, 3, showdown. I got some that aren't sure. Let's find out. I've got 6/4, 8/12. If you simplified those, you end up with 3/2 and 2/4. Are those the same thing?
No.
They are not proportional. I hate writing that word. Not proportional. Okay? Now we've got a table. So what? I got a table. No big deal. Is X and Y proportional? I've got isn't that what I'm comparing? I'm comparing X and Y, aren't I? Are they proportional? Thumbs up, they're proportional. Thumbs down, they are not. Showdown. They are proportional. What's 1/2 times 2? What is 1/2 times 2? What is 3 times 2? Are these two proportional?
You really have a fraction on half?
Sure you can. Okay, I want voices off. Talk to me.
How does that mean X and Y are proportional? You're comparing those.
Am I comparing X to X? Am I comparing Y to Y? Am I? So I created my ratio of 2 quantities. Isn't a ratio comparing 2 quantities? Okay? And so I just wrote 2 of them, and I compared these 2. Okay? I could have picked 1 to 6 and 2 to 12 if I wanted to. And a lot of you would have seen it easier that way because it wouldn't have been a fraction on top of as a denominator, or a fraction as a numerator. Okay? Alice?
I'm confused how, why can't you compare 1/2 and 3?
So you're saying, here's what I hear you saying, comparing 1/2 to 3 over 1 to 6? Is that what you're telling me? You said it didn't work.
Wait, no,
You're doing
not that.
No,
Not, like,
three
three
is
over,
Oh, wait.
equal to.
yeah, three over, like, cause I was thinking 1/2 is 3 over 1.
But three is, it's not actually, it's not.
But we said x to y.
Yeah, it's not,
We said x to y.
it's not asking if 1/2, it's not asking if 1/2 is equal to. It's easy, 1/2.
Right, it's
It's
not.
not asking if it's equal to. It's asking if, like if you were, like you had a, like a graph,
Mhm.
and you plotted the x, y, and then you did the next one, would it form?
Yeah, I see what they're doing, man. Why they got the one. Thank you,
And-
being smart.
Here, right here, I use that word right there.
That's enough.
X to y. And isn't that a ratio language? X to y? Okay, so I wrote it as the fraction, x to y. Okay? Yes, sir? I agree, but if we go back to, by definition, a proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equivalent. Two quantities that form a proportion are proportional. The two quantities here are 2 and 3. Does it form a proportion with 4 and 6? Okay, that's just the way it's done, hon. Okay,
I was looking at it wrong. Instead of like 1/2 over 3, and then I was thinking of like just each separate, like 1/2, and then comparing it to 3 over 1. That's what I thought. Weird.
okay. All right, I'm gonna go on. See what we got. Look at the two ratios. Do they form a proportion? 1/2 and 5/10. Is it a proportion? Is it a proportion? Look at it again. Look at it. And I see what you're here. I want you to figure it this way because I know what's going on. Easiest thing in the world. What is 1 times 10? What is 5 times 2? Do you see it then? So 1/2 equals 5/10. So yes, it is a proportion. Okay? What about number 2? Is number 2 a proportion, Darty?
No,
No. Darty says no. Why not, Darty?
because if you cross multiply it, 6 times 18 is 108, and 4 times 24 is 96.
You're right. They are not a proportion. Good. What about number 3? Ben, is number 3 a proportion? No. Why not?
Because the first fraction is, it turns into an improper fraction because it has 3 can go into 10 3 times.
Yeah, so this one's definitely bigger than the other one. Good job. Number 4, 25/20 to 15/12. Gabriel?
Yes.
Gabriel says yes. How do you know it, Gabriel?
I use the cross multiply and 300. 25 times 12 is 300, and 20 times 15 is 300. 300.
Cross multiplying, and he can tell it real quick. What about number 5? Tell whether x and y are proportional. We've had one of these now. So I'm gonna just set them up as 2 ratios. X and y, are they proportional? I've got 1/12, and I have 2/24. Are they proportional? Are they proportional, Matthew?
Yes.
They certainly are. They are equal fractions. They are proportional. That's what you're doing. There's your assignment. Freaking easy. It is easy.
It's not maybe, it's not kinda, it is.
It is easy.
All you have to do is cross multiply, and you're like, boom, 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 boom.
As long as there's only 2 of them. When you start getting 3 or 4, you may have to look at other methods.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering if you like approved the method that I did. What I do like on the I did 5 divided by 1, and I get everything in brackets and I multiply it. I got denominators,
No,
but it works everything.
it's working every time, right? But there's no reason why you would divide by 1. Okay, wait. You're trying to figure out how they got to there.
Yes, how they got to the denominator.
5 divided by 1 is 5, and then you take that times 6.
Yeah.
Yes, that would work.
Okay.
I know what you're doing. So here you're saying 18 divided by 4,
18 divided by 4 equals
4.5, and then you're trying to multiply that by it.
And if that doesn't equal
Yes, that would work every time. You are comparing the fractions, and you're trying to, yes, that will work.
Okay. On the tables, like, one half of
Because it work all the way around. 1 over 2, but you're, no, I see what you're doing. You're saying 1 over 2 and 12 over 24, right? So you're saying, yes, that is the same. Yes, as long as you make sure. And here's the deal. You're writing it this way. X over X. No, right? Is that how you wrote it? And Y over Y. And then you're comparing that. Yes, that works. As long as these comparisons are the same, the ratio, X to X, Y to Y, and comparing. Yes. It's how you see it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it is lunchtime. If anybody needs to take a quick restroom break, you may go. That's fine. That's fine. Because you could have used, because you don't like fractions, you could have said, well, one of them is 1 to 6, right?
Yeah.
And what's the other one's full numbers?
1 to 2. Whatever the two, yeah.
2 to 12?
Yeah, 2 to 12. Just do math all day now.
It would.
So, yeah, because this times 2.
Yeah, it would.
Izzy, you want to skip lunch then?
Okay.
No.